Hi, my name is Dr. Reju. I'm a workplace effectiveness strategist and I consult for churches because I have a passion for pastors. I have a burden for pastors because of my belief in the tremendous amount of influence that they can have in society. But over the years, the global church, we've focused on only what happens within the four walls of our buildings. We've reduced the definition of church to a building which we know is not accurate. But the purpose of this conference, this workshop, is to give us a wider kind of horizon, to widen our horizon, to look at the church through a truly biblical prism, to expose pastors to gain an insight into the biblical definition of church so that we can express that full definition and become that externally focused church. A friend of mine once said, "Where is the church on a Sunday after the parking lot is empty?" That is what this workshop is all about. Call Joy Bringers on the numbers on your screen. See you then.
As a church leader, your time and resources are limited. It's difficult to find discipleship and Bible study materials that are affordable, easily accessible, and high quality. But there is a way to equip the people in your church every day of the week without losing sleep. Welcome to Right Now Media, the world's largest library of video-driven Bible study resources, used by more than 20,000 churches, schools, and organizations. With a Right Now Media subscription, everyone in your church can access thousands of biblical resources for kids, couples, small groups, and more. Give your members access to great content, anytime, anywhere, on any device.
And God specifically says, the way you think, that's not the same way I think.
Equip and inspire everyone in your church beyond Sunday.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me in Solomon's Temple. My name is Solomon Izang Shams, and it's so great and wonderful to have you again. Thank you for always being here for us to interact and fellowship. And I do hope you're doing well and your family also doing very well. Some people always ask me, Solomon, why do you have to sometimes take time to talk to people and put people's comment at the beginning and all that? You waste a lot of time putting their names or where they're from. I said, no, this platform for me is about fellowship also. It's not just about do what you have to do and move on. No, I want to know people. I want you watching to feel that I know you and you know me to a certain degree, even though we are thousands and thousands of miles apart, but that's just not the point, and that's why we enjoy going to the church building, isn't it? Because we interact with other people. That's why right now a lot of people want the church to open its doors because they want to go back and interact. It's about fellowship. It's not just about me coming and talking and speaking when you listen. No, it's not a dialogue. It's a monologue. Even in the Bible, in scriptures, do you know it was only recently that the church, the pulpit that you see was actually created? I don't think it's even 100 years yet. The pulpit that you see, one person speaking and then others listening, because that was not the concept of a church. And I want this Solomon's Temple, I want this program every time that I come here to have that kind of feel to it, even though we are very much apart. But thank you so much. If you are watching for the first time, thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please go ahead right now and click subscription. I would love for you to do that. I would appreciate for you to do that right now. If you're watching on Facebook, thank you for coming. Please skip over to YouTube. Please subscribe. And I encourage you again, anytime you watch my videos, please do not click on the skip advert button. Please watch the adverts. That way you're going to put us in good positioning with YouTube. So I thank you so much. So I'm going to be talking about something that has been going on for a long time. I've had different conversations around this issue. That is women's hair and demons. Women's hair from Brazil or from India or from Peru, because there's a Peruvian here, are this demonic? Are there demons? What are the spiritual implications outside of the physical implications, which is makes you look more beautiful, and we all know that. And in trying to do that, I just told myself, look, I'm not going to research and too much and get to hear what other people have said or saying, but I'm just going to say what I feel I should say, because that's very important. And I have to confess, my wife, she doesn't wear it. I think I've only seen her wear it once or twice. And she doesn't even have one. She used to have her hair in more like dreadlocks type thing. Now she plait her hair. She's been plaiting her hair for a long time. And talking about my wife, I want to celebrate my wife. My wife, as some of you guys may know, my wife is a chartered accountant. So she's a CA. And chartered accountants, just like any other place, you study. So you study after university, your first degree, you have to study for another 5-6 years to be able to qualify. You write board exams to be able to qualify. So it's almost like becoming a doctor somehow, or even, you spend even more time, isn't it? To do that. So she's a chartered accountant, and she was awarded an award, a recognition award by the Africa Women Chartered Accountants on Saturday, and I really celebrated her. Gave her a big kiss because she's a hard worker. My wife is those kind of people that are like overachievers, if you know what I'm saying. I feel sorry for our kids because they are going to have to perform, especially when the mother is a high achiever. The pressure becomes much more for the kids because she's always going to be there to monitor them and all that kind of thing. So this is my wife here, and this is the award that she won. So she is the African Women Chartered Accountants ACWCA Recognition Awards 2021 Assurance Partner of the Year. So this is my wife here, and congratulations. So I'm so proud of her, working very hard, and also she's also studying her MBA. Hopefully she's going to round up her MBA next year, and maybe I can go for a PhD then. I have to negotiate that with her. But I would love to do a PhD. Even wherever it's going to be, I just have to believe God for the money to do the PhD, but I would love to do a PhD, that kind of thing. So thank you. Yes, thank you guys. Thank you, Vincent, say proud of her. Thank you, Blandine said congratulations. Thank you, brother Alan, congratulations. So I would pass all your congratulations to her. Sandra Nomvuzo, thank you so much. Thank you, Pinky. Thank you so much, Abigail. Congratulations to her. Congratulations to Norma. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. I don't know. I think for her it was also a really encouragement because she's been really working very hard. My wife is somebody that wants to fix problems. She's good when there's a problem and you want somebody to fix it. She is that kind of person. Thank you, Bongani. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Bello. And thank you, everybody, with all your comments. And thank you, everyone who's joining us today. I really appreciate each and every one of you today. So I wanted to, like I said, to talk about this issue about women's hair and demons. So there's been a whole lot of school of thoughts. The Bible is very clear that the hair, head of a woman is a crown. And what does that mean, basically? Does it mean your hair, or does it mean, because in Africa, where a lot of women still wear their ashiobi with their headgear or their gele or head wrap, as they call it. What does it really mean? I'm not a woman, so I'm just going to speak from a position of a man. For a woman, her hair is or the way her head looks is very important. Very, very. Some of the most beautiful women in Africa or cultures in Africa, we don't even see the hair of the woman, to be honest with you. You can't go to a very African wedding in Lagos and see the hair of the woman. No, they are all decked in their ashiobi, in their really nice costume. And part of the way they cover the hair is also part of the celebration, and they love it, and they always look lovely, isn't it? So we have that kind of situation, but then we saw maybe in the last, I would say in the last 30 years, 20 years, we've seen how women in Africa, African women, have embraced the whole culture of wearing a weave, a Brazilian weave from Brazil. We know the Brazilians are unique people. They are very mixed culture, not just white, not black, but it's mixed, Or we got Peruvian here, which we know a lot of them, their heritage is from Africa and maybe mixed up with Spanish and that kind of thing. And we have Indian here also from India. And we know Indian people, they're neither white or they're black. They're just somewhere there in the middle, brown. And we've seen very beautiful women putting on this weave that has become so beautiful, that has become sort of like, it's something you can put on, put on and go. It takes a lot for a woman to maintain her hair, to plait your hair or to maintain your hair. But a weave sort of like gives you an easy way to make your hair beautiful and hit the road. And also you get to have a long hair, isn't it? And a lot of women love long hair. But there are different places where this hair comes from, either from, again, the popular ones in Africa, from Peru or from Brazil or from India. And where they come from in these different places, they are collected in different ways. In Peru, it's collected. Maybe the woman can decide to sell her hair, cut her hair and sell it. In Brazil, also is popular for you to cut your hair and make money from it. And in India, it's popular. It used to be popular with a woman going to the temple, taking their hair as a sacrifice to the temple. So they to be collected and all that kind of stuff. So the temple in itself, the way Hinduism works, the temple in itself collect that, and they saw that people buy it. So they started making money off it. Or because of the poverty level in India also, women could decide to sell their hair, to cut it and sell it. Right. So I actually decided to talk about this because I came across a video that a friend of mine, Clara, sent to me, that with and TikTok. It actually was from TikTok, which this young lady was talking about the implications of it. And I totally understand her perspective. Right. So let's watch the video and her talking about this, because she raised some very important points, or some points that we really have to look at really closely. So let's watch the video.
That hair away from human hair. That hair comes from temples. In India, temples, it comes with curses from the worship that was done, the rituals that was done when that hair was cut. Now, a lot of you understood what I meant. A lot of you had experiences from putting human hair on your head. Your spirit felt off or something was wrong. But a lot of you came at me from the left saying, I don't know what I'm talking about, saying I'm disrespecting other cultures, saying you're just gonna pray over the hair and nothing will hurt you, as the Bible says, no spirits will carry over. Okay, please have a look at this next clip, these 2 clips that I'm about to put up. This is a pastor or prophet that does deliverance as well. Have a look. I couldn't stitch this, I couldn't duet it, but have a look. Go on his page and watch the 2 full clips. Okay, then come back and let's talk about it.
I think to just take on the spirit And what was on the spirit of those hair?
From people that donate the hair.
And what does the hair go to?
The hair, they get sacrificed to demons.
Now what is?
And they sold them to the hair people and make it into weaves.
So what is your hair? What is your name?
I am Spirit of Weaves.
And what country did you come from?
China.
China. So listen to me. Weeds, begin to go now in the name of Jesus. Take it off her head. Take it off her head. Spirits from India and China, begin to release now. Begin to release. Begin to release every spirit of weed, Father God. Anything.
Now you guys saw for yourself. My brothers and sisters in Christ, do not invite demons into your life unknowingly. Besides the hair, human hair weave, there's so many things. There's so many things that we invite into our lives unknowingly. And that is why I'm here to teach, because these demons, these evil spirits, stop you from focusing on the Lord. They stop your salvation. They stop your growth, because once demons come in, they don't want you to have anything to do with the Lord, with Christ. And this is why, one of the reasons why our women today are so haughty. They Jezebel spirits. This is it right here. Be careful, people.
Okay, so that's a short video there. What she actually raised. Let's just go through it and pick out the point step by step, and then talk about it.
Away from human hair. That hair comes from temples in India. Temples.
Okay, so she's basically saying where some of this have come from, temples in India. So obviously this is coming from temples. So she's emphasizing a whole lot more in India. But not all human hair that women wear come from India. Actually, the popular ones come from Brazil, and lately we saw Peru, and now we're even here in China. But and temples, so we say temples, it means Hindu temples. India, major religion is Hinduism, and they have over 30 million gods. You can create a god from basically anything, you know. And Hinduism, the way it's practiced, is very, very different. You always take sacrifices. When I was in India a couple of years ago, I actually went into one of the temples just to see, you know, just out of curiosity. So she's making the emphasis, and so because we have to look at that India side and really understand that Indian side.
It comes with curses from the worship that was done, the rituals that was done when.
So it comes with curses. I don't know how it works when women take their hair to the temple in India, and how the ritual is performed, or the curses that comes in on it, or maybe they cut it off because they're trying to let go of certain things. So the priests in the temples, and the Hindu temples, were probably going to kind of like emphasize those curses and sort of like release them and do some sort of ritual. So maybe that sort of like made it carry certain, you know, spirit, maybe evil spirit. Maybe that's what she's saying.
And that hair was cut. Now, a lot of you understood what I meant. A lot of you had experiences from putting human hair on your head. Your spirit felt off, or something was wrong. But
how many women felt that? I'm not a woman again, so I've never won one. How many of you guys have really felt that? Maybe you didn't notice that when you started wearing weaves, or the weaves that you wear, but after a couple of times, you sort of like say, oh, well, you know, there is definitely something that is not right here. How many of you guys have felt that before? How many of you guys? Well, maybe you were going to have a couple of people that have felt that way before, but people are different, isn't it? But let's listen more.
A lot of you came at me from the left saying, I don't know what I'm talking about, saying I'm disrespecting other cultures, saying you're just gonna pray over the hair. and nothing will hurt you, as the Bible says. No spirits will carry over. Okay, please have a look at this next clip, these 2 clips that I'm about to put up.
She mentioned something I'm going to talk about later, saying that, you know, a lot of you would want to just pray about it and nothing would that's going to happen and all that. And then she played that clip. Obviously, somebody, you know, it's more like manifesting and all that. Let's even leave that video there. I think we've gotten the gist. And I got a few people saying, my take is like food. You sanctify it with prayers. I have never felt anything. That is when she wears a weave. Mboni here is saying how Uncle Solomon, she once made a video on Brazilian hair. I once heard a few testaments about 8 years ago, and I haven't put on human hair, but rather have used synthetic wigs. Okay, so there's an option of putting on synthetic weaves. Mercy says, in my weave days, I've never felt anything of that nature. Okay. Who again? Christine here says, I do have a weave, but I can't wear it for even 30 minutes. I don't feel comfortable. Okay, so it's just comfortability, or you feel something that you feel is spiritual or whatever. You know, so she's made quite some valid points there, just the implication of it. And in this video, obviously, she made this. I'm sure she's probably going to make a video on Brazilian hair, or on what do you call it, on Brazilian hair, or in Peruvian hair, or just a whole different thing, that different sort of hair that is out there. And it is true that a lot of hair that's come from India was used as part of a ritual. It is very true, because if you understand the Hindu religion in itself, there's a lot of sacrifice you give, and there's a lot of plays that what women do, how women do it, and all that kind of thing. But your hair in itself, when they bring it here, they sell it here, and women buy and they use it. But as Christians, you know, I try to always ask myself, is the Bible explicit saying women should not use another woman's hair? The Bible isn't explicit on that, right? So we have to look at it, and we also have to ask ourselves the question, who created humans? God. Who created Indian women? God. Who created Brazilian women? God. Who created their hair? God. So hair in itself is beautiful, you know. So if somebody who is an atheist passed away and you had a liver problem and they donating their liver to you, or is somebody who is Hindu, are you going to have demonic spirit because you're taking on their liver? Who created that liver? God. They didn't create it for themselves. The Hindus didn't create the human hair of that Hindu woman, Indian woman. And I understand totally that there are different ways that evil and Satan tried to penetrate into our lives. Different ways where gradually and in a subtle way penetrates into our lives. And that can happen through the human hair that women buy from Brazil or from India. It's a huge possibility. It's not even a huge possibility. I'm sure it had happened to some. And since I'm talking to Christian women, let's look at it from a Christian perspective. You know, one thing that the Bible is very, very clear about is God is a creator of all things. But how these things are used is out of God's hand. It's our own personal choices, because he gave us the right to use it. He's a creator of all things. The African woman's hair is very beautiful and different. The Indian woman hair or Brazilian human hair is very beautiful and different. There is no one hair that supersedes the other. There's no one that is more beautiful than the other. I would not say the Brazilian hair is more beautiful than the African hair. No, they're just different, beautiful in their own way and different. I wouldn't say the Indian hair is more beautiful than the African hair. No, they're different. We cannot compare them. But can we celebrate them all? Can we celebrate the African hair? Can we celebrate the Indian or the Brazilian hair? Can we even sort of like borrow or use on us? Is it a sin? It's not a sin. But how do you make sure that you protect yourself from any sort of implications? Because remember, it's your hair that we're talking about. So that's your head. And the head is a very symbolic part of the body. When Paul was talking about the head, we're talking about the head and the role of the head. Who is the head and how the head should operate. Even in a home, the man or Christ being the head, or the woman having her head. It's a very symbolic thing. So it's a place that Satan knows that if he can touch, if he can get sort of authority over it, then he can do quite a lot with that person. That's why it's important for us to know what we're getting into, what we put in our hair. And importantly, I said Christ, God is the creator of everything. But certain ideas and Satan took authority over certain things. But because he took authority over certain things doesn't mean that he is the owner of it. Because Satan took authority over this hair and sort of like put on curses using her words, and also put on evil spirit on it, doesn't mean it belongs to Satan. He is just using it for his own agenda. So he sort of like put on his authority on it. But between Satan's authority and God's authority, whose authority is more profound? Whose authority is more powerful? The one who created the human and the human hair, or the one who sort of like took the hair and now used it for his own agenda? Because you are working with the one who created the human and the human hair. So when I was in school, I went to a Christian university, and they told us about how we study on how you can redeem anything, redeem the culture, redeem everything. And redeeming something means you take it and try to bring it back to its original meaning. Something that was taken and being used not the right way, you take ownership and you take authority of it. And every woman has an authority. Every woman has authority to redeem whatever she wants to use. How do I redeem it? Redeeming it means you use it for God's purpose. If you feel you take a Brazilian hair and you want to redeem it and use it because it's going to make you feel more confident, more beautiful, it's fine. Am I a big fan of Brazilian or Indian hair? I'm not a big fan of it. But is there anything wrong with it? No, at all. But the important thing is to redeem it. But you see, not every woman understands her authority in Christ. And that's where and how the devil might come in with some of this hair, not all of the hair. I think it's only even a small percentage of the human hair that we get from Peru or Brazil or India or China that actually has this, curses to it. Not every one of it. But still, if you do not know your authority in Christ, that might just be used against you. Because now whatever the agenda, the hair was sent from the factories, not even from the factories, before it got to the factories, what was set over it, the incantation and the curses or whatever that was set over it. If you do not know your identity, and if you're not working with God every day, when you begin to use it, that might just implicate you. But if you understand your authority, even before you use it, you take authority. Even whilst you're using it, you're working in authority. So it makes and render it all the agenda ineffective, null and void. I hope you get what I'm saying. And again, I try to do this and talk about this not based on, I normally do a lot of research, of course, because I'm a journalist and all that. But I just said, no, I'm not going to do research. I'm just going to say what I feel from my own perspective and from my own experiences. So there's a huge need for us to be able to understand that. To not be afraid to use certain things. Back in the day, we used to, even hip hop music, rap music, is said to be not, Christians shouldn't listen to it. In the 80s or 70s, that's the way that it was. That it's an evil music. But no, music is God's idea. What we say in the music or what we do is the music. That is entirely not God's role. So we have to understand the music and say, how do we redeem it? Or how can we do the music in a way, even if it's not gospel music, but it's going to be glorifying to God? Some of you need to go and redeem certain things wherever you are. You say, what do I have to redeem? What do I have to redeem? How can I redeem this? What is in your life that you need to redeem? You need to redeem your relationship. You need to redeem your certain things, that your choices that you've made before, certain things that you use, you need to redeem it, because you can take authority. Christ came and redeemed us. So now we have authority to redeem other things that God has created. We can go into businesses where they're not doing things the right way and corrupt. How do we redeem it? You go into politics. How do you redeem it? How do you become a tool of redemption? Talking about human hair, you can talk about it from different ways. I just want to concentrate on the hair and the fact that it's the demons or not or whatever. That's what I want to concentrate. We can talk about why it's not good for African women to use a hair, because they're not appreciating their beauty, or they have a problem with their self-esteem, or whatever. That's a different discussion on another day. And we're probably all going to have different perspective. When I'm talking about the transference of spirit, the likely, not even the transference of spirit, the likely transference of spirit through human hair that came from a temple in India. A woman, things not going on in her life well, she cut it off and she took it to the temple to give it to the gods. And maybe some curses or whatever spirit was inflicted on it, and they took it to the factory, package it and everything, ship it to Africa, and then you buy it and you're putting it up now. That's what I'm talking about. But you must not be afraid to know that you have authority. You must not be afraid to know that you have authority to take charge. Actually, maybe very soon I'm going to bring in, just to celebrate African hair, right? I'm going to bring in, women that I know who they run businesses in African hair and African care. They create products. I will bring them in here so we can have a discussion around it. How about that? Just to celebrate that, the African woman and her hair. We can have a whole lot of discussions. We can say, why is the Americans not buying African hair, or the Brazilians or the Chinese not buying African hair, but we buy their own hair? We buy Indian hair, the Indian hair. That's another discussion on its own. And I don't want to to mesmerize, to sort of like mesmerize all of this. But we'll talk about that much, right? But anyway, so I just wanted to talk about this, just so I can throw it out there, just so we have an idea, because sometimes we tend to tilt towards like, yeah, is it demonic? Let's stay away from it. But as Christians, we've been staying away from a whole lot of stuff for a long time without really analyzing and say, look, but can I take authority over this? If it is good, but Satan has hijacked it, should I just let him? Or can I take charge? Hip-hop music or rap music, for a long time we said, no, it's Satan's. But it's not Satan's, because Satan has hijacked it for a long time, talking about drugs, talking about sex and rock and roll and all that. Doesn't mean it's Satan's. Doesn't mean it's an evil music. No. We can talk about life about it. We can talk about scriptures using hip-hop. So we need to have that level. A lot of women in India, when they cut their hair and took it to the temple, maybe they had problems at home, or things are not going well, or business is not going well, they take it as a piece of sacrifice. Maybe there's going to be a spirit that would come through it. But that doesn't mean you do not have the authority as a child of God to cut off that spirit and declare that spirit null and void. And again, not every woman understands that. There are women that are not so strong in that way in their walk with God to know that. Anyway, just wanted to discuss that with you guys and put it out there. But I think it's something that we can grow into. Whatever you feel is your best way, go ahead and do it. Whatever you feel, if you wear Brazilian hair or Indian hair, if you feel it's okay, if you feel it's not okay, as long as you and God, and as long as you know there's no problems that has cropped up from there, because sometimes the transference of spirit might be happening now and the implication is only going to be a year or two later. But importantly, take authority. God has given us the authority to redeem anything. We need to take it and redeem it. Redeeming our culture, redeeming our music, redeeming our fashion, redeeming the business field, redeeming politics, redeeming our education sector. Even the church in itself needs redemption, isn't it? But may God help all of us. Thank you so much, guys. God bless you. May the Lord bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine upon you. And thank you for being here. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, can you please subscribe to my YouTube channel right away? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share this video, and also whenever you watch my videos, please do not skip the advert. Please make sure that you watch it. Once again, I'll leave you here celebrating my wife, who won an award, a recognition award given to her by the African Women Chartered Accountants Assurance Partner of the Year 2021. She was honored this last Saturday. I'm so proud of my wife and love her, and I'm really celebrating her. And so this is the last day of Women's Month in South Africa. I'm celebrating her, and I'm celebrating every other woman. She won this award with 6 or 7 other women. And some of the women are really top women. One used to be the MTN CEO of MTN in Ghana. MTN the network in Ghana. One is the current CFO. She used to be the CFO of Auditor General's Office of South Africa. Now she's the head of audit. One is a doctor at University of Johannesburg, and a whole lot of other women. So I celebrate my wife. Yes, I need to keep buying her flowers now every week, isn't it? That's what I need to do. Well, thank you guys. May the Lord bless you and may he keep you. Stay blessed. I'll catch you again much later today.
Psalm 23. God has set a table for 2. One chair for himself, the king, and the second one, believe it or not, is for you. But of course, the enemy wants a seat at the table too. Anxiety wants a seat, envy wants a seat, worry and frustration want a seat. But don't give the enemy a seat at your table. Look up, go up. You're invited up the mountain of God. Move towards infinite power, splendor, love, and beauty, healing and restoration. When we gaze upon the Almighty, we are changed by the captivation. Empowered to take every thought captive in the battle of the mind. Shame is silenced by His glory, and our future redefined. So draw near to Jesus. The shepherd is good. Our God is faithful. Take the place prepared for you, and don't give the enemy a seat at your table.
Hi, my name is Dr. Reju. I'm a workplace effectiveness strategist, and I consult for churches because I have a passion for pastors. I have a burden for pastors because of my belief in the tremendous amount of influence that they can have in society. But over the years, the global church, we've focused on only what happens within the four walls of our buildings. We've reduced the definition of church to a building which we know is not accurate. But the purpose of this conference, this workshop, is to give us a wider kind of horizon, to widen our horizon, to look at the church through a truly biblical prism, to expose pastors to gain an insight into the biblical definition of church so that we can express that full definition and become that externally focused church. A friend of mine once said, "Where is the church on a Sunday after the parking lot is empty?" That is what this workshop is all about. Call Joy Bringers on the numbers on your screen. See you then.